Sunrisers Hyderabad came into this auction with very few slots left, and their purse was also very small. But with that small purse, they've actually made some interesting buys. They've picked up Jadhav for base, but they've also gone in for Mujibur Rahman. And apart from that, they've made some Indian buys as well. So, Gurkirat, how do you see SRH filling up their gaps, assuming the major issues that SRH had was in the lower middle order and maybe a backup spinner for Rashid Khan? Do you think that has been addressed?
I don't think that they really needed a backup spinner for Rashid Khan, because he played all games for them. But okay, if you wanted to, it's fine, because they didn't play Nabi also in the entire last season. I think what they should have actually gone for an express pacer, because with Bhuvneshwar Kumar, because that is something that they've not had. When Mitchell Marsh also went out last season, I had tweeted and said that a Mark Wood could be a good replacement, because they have a one-dimensional pace attack. If you leave out T Natarajan, everyone bowls in between around 125 to 135. No one's express as such. Jason Holder doesn't bowl at 140s. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you don't know coming back from injury how he'll do. And even if he's there, the couple of games that he played for SRH, he was not bowling at 140s, but he's still a smart bowler, to sort of know what to bowl to which bowler and still get away. So T Natarajan was actually a revelation, but you still need one express pacer, and they don't have any. So a little disappointed on that front that they didn't cover this aspect. Mujib, yes, a good buy, but again, I don't see him getting a game. I don't see uh, even Nabi getting a game unless Rashid is injured. SRH are actually a very peculiar side, because you will not see any other team that will have three overseas batsmen in their top four.
Yeah.
As long as that is happening, they will find it very difficult to play a second overseas bowler, right, or a all rounder to sort of have that balance. They eventually ended up dropping Bairstow, which was going to happen. I thought they will drop Ken Williamson. So somebody will go out. Maybe a Jason Holder will come in, but Jason Holder also isn't proven at the death. He did okay in the last IPL, but if you see his history, he's not really a great death bowler. So probably could have done with when one good express pacer. Jadhav, I understand, they've bought because they figured out Manish Pandey and Vijay Shankar are not really working as finishers. And, whenever Manish Pandey is batted below three, he's not given great returns. You saw that in last season also. So
Yeah.
they sort of feel that maybe Williamson bats four, Manish Pandey bats three, then at number five, you can have a Jadhav or a Priyam Garg, and at number six, you have an Abdul Samad, or maybe at number seven. Could be that way. But, I thought that they could have been a little better. I don't understand why they've bought Suchit, because they already have a Shabaz Nadeem, and it's hard to say. I think even they also have Abhishek Sharma. They have Abdul Samad who can spin the ball. I think Abhishek Sharma could be a good player who they can open with, because he's done that for Punjab in the SMAT, and he's a decent batsman. So he's being wasted down the order. He's someone they can easily open with him and give him the license to go hell for leather. Even if he gets dismissed, there's hardly any loss. So they can do that, which would give Warner some time, because we saw in the previous IPL that Warner wasn't himself. He scored the runs, but the pace was not the same. So probably they can do that. Have Abhishek Sharma open with David Warner, then have Manish Pandey at three, Kane Williamson four, and Abdul Samad at seven, and then between five and six you decide whether you want a Priyam Garg, or you can have a Priyam Garg and Kedar Jadhav, and then, or you can have a Vijay Shankar also if you want to add a bowling option. So also Kedar Jadhav also can sort of roll his arm over. So didn't really understand the logic behind getting a Jay Suchit. Uh, Probably he's a backup for Shabaz Nadeem, because Shabaz Nadeem also didn't play a lot of games for them. And if Bhuvneshwar Kumar is fit, very difficult for both of them to get a game.
Yeah, so we just have one question from the SRH point of view, and I'd like to pick a couple of points from what you said. You did mention that their lower middle order is definitely under-equipped, and that's probably the one place that SRH should have looked at filling up. Anirudh also has the same question. Should they have gotten an experienced finisher and an out-and-out fast bowler?
Fast bowler, I mentioned that they should have got one, and I completely agree with Anirudh that they've punched above their weight last season. They did that in 2019 as well. I think in 2019 they were extremely lucky to make it to the playoffs because they were the first team to make it to the playoffs with just 6 wins. So somewhere SRH has been lucky as well. They remain the one of the franchises who've qualified for 5 seasons in a row, along with MI and CSK. From 2016 they've always qualified, but last 2 seasons they've definitely punched above their weight. I think in more than punching above their weight, they were also very lucky with how things didn't go according to the plans for other teams, because even KKR had 14 points. So
Yeah.
definitely they could have gone for a fast bowler. As far as an experienced finisher is concerned, I think they didn't really use Nabi, and they think Jason Holder can do the job. Uh, as a batsman, both of them are fine, even though Nabi didn't have a great BBL. But who else they could have gone for as an experienced finisher? Maybe they could have sort of gone for a Najibullah Zadran from Afghanistan. I thought that they would go for Shakib also, but they didn't even bid for him, and KKR took him, which I thought was a steal. So I think they sort of back Samar to do the job, and he's definitely shown the skill set. So I think they this season they will back him, and they will back Abhishek Sharma also to do the job somewhere, either at the top or at number 6, 7. And I think Jadav, doesn't get a lot of credit because of his last season, but he can actually do the job of being a finisher.
Yeah, I think there is definitely a mindset behind getting Jadhav for that base price. And as you pointed out, he's still at the end of the day is an experienced finisher. One season cannot define a player's true potential, and we've actually seen Jadhav do it for India at the peak of his powers.
Yeah,
So that is a
he
yeah.
I think he averages around 40 and more, strikes at more than 100 in the ODIs that he has played for India. I think around 102, 103. So he can definitely do it. Just that last season was a huge anomaly for him.